Hey everyone, welcome to Next Up Podcast. If you're new here, this is a podcast where we're gonna be talking about life, entertainment, and everything around it. And on today's episode, we're gonna be talking about that version of you that didn't make it. We all had childhood dreams, and even now that we're old enough to have a choice, there's always this version we said when you were in high school or whatever you can call it. You said, I'm gonna be this person, I'm gonna be a soldier, I'm gonna be a doctor. But now you find yourself in a different career and you wonder, did I make the wrong decision? Or maybe one thing made you think that actually you're not in the place of the dream you wanted to be, of the person you wanted to be. So we're gonna be looking at some questions which are very common to people who say like, I wish someone would have told me this. And at the end of this episode, you're gonna understand that maybe you did yes lose something or you did not lose anything. So let's dive into it. So my question is going to be, I need you to ask yourself this question inside your heart and answer it honestly to yourself. Maybe take a notebook and say, I'm gonna answer this question honestly. My first question is going to be like, is there a version of you that you plan to be by now that simply didn't make it or didn't happen? Not a small thing, but the whole version of yourself. Just to make you understand the question, I want you to think of that one thing you said. For example, you said you wanted to be a doctor, and maybe because of studies, you went to school and doctors. Yeah, next level for me due to the way they study, maybe the years they take to be a doctor, and you said I'm not gonna be a doctor. So that shifted the whole person you are because you said, I have to find a new career, a new person of who I want to be. So my second question is going to be like, what did that version look like? Did you look happy or did you look sad or did you want that version because someone told you to be that version because it does look good on you? The third question is going to be, when did you first realize the plan wasn't going the way you thought? Was it one moment or did it click up on you slowly? For example, sometimes you might not understand a certain word, especially if you're learning a new language and you've been hearing people say this word and you too you do use that word every day. But suddenly someone comes to you and tell you, so I've seen that you've been using this word in moments where you don't have to use it, and you just realize that the word you've been using is used for a different thing. So it just clicked in your head in one moment. Or maybe a certain situation happened and for you to understand it, you need you needed to take time slowly by slowly to understand it. So one of the most questions that I've been asking people, like, what is the question that might evolve around the version of you that didn't make it? And one of the question were question four: when did that version didn't make it? Did you actually grieve it, or did you just move on and pretend it was fine? So sometimes, yes, you can grieve a dream you really wanted to be. And sometimes you just realize you don't have to grieve anything because even the way your life was going, like it was pushing you to a different path. The path that leads to another dream, which is not the dream you had. So you might take your time to grieve it, but the more you grieve, a dream that didn't make it, the more you lose confidence in the dream you want to have. So you need to understand that to have a dream is normal, and to lose a dream is also normal. But the thing which is not normal is the way we react to it, and it's really normal because we are different people. Even though I'm do saying it's not normal, because the more time you spend in making sure you want to go back to something you already given up, it give you less chance to be the person you want to be. So just make sure that if you lose a dream, you take your time, sit down, take a sheet of paper, and say, "Oh, I wanted this dream, but what is the next thing I'm able to do? What is the next dream I can have and make it work?" So you have to think about that and always make sure that you're having people who are going to help you. Because sometimes you might think, "Oh, I can do it alone," but there's a whole reason why we have people, we have friends, we have everyone around us, because they always have something to tell you. And look up for people who already achieved that dream, and I don't know, ask them for advice. Ask a friend to ask a friend and hook you up with that person and give you advice on how to move on to the next step. But always make sure in your head that you are never going to be that person that is going to give you that advice. You're going to be your own person. And you being your own person, you have to understand that you might be quicker than that person, or you might be slower to that person. So always remember, which pace do I have to move on? And does this pace match the person I want to be? Will it get me where I want to be? So always ask yourself that question. Question number 5 is going to be like, is there shame attached to you not becoming who you plan to be? Where does that shame come from? Okay, sometimes you might be ashamed of it. For example, we have we have people who've been in university for the longest time, and you see those people where, like, they've, for example, because I know doctors are the people who does take too long to get to the title of being a doctor. And I don't know, nurses, all those people who are in healthcare and have things. So you find that if they tell you you have 6 years to achieve the goal of being a doctor, some of us, of many, stop at the second year of 6 years. And you might wonder, is that because they can't? Maybe they can be doctors, but due to the way they see the world, they just have a different dream. Question 6: what did you lose beyond just a dream? An identity, direction, confidence, the way people saw you? Yeah, because most of the time when we change to a different career or a different dream, for example, you're a medical student, or I mean, not based on medical students, because I know a lot of you like medicine and everything. So, for example, you are an engineer, software engineer, and you've been studying for 3 years, and suddenly you're in your last year, and you're like, actually, I'm going to shift and I don't know, go in medical school, which is a whole different thing from software engineering. You want to be in medicine. What you're going to lose, people are going to say, like, they are no longer going to identify you as a software engineer. They are going to see, oh no, now she's a doctor. And people will be like, how did you shift from being a software engineer and now you're being a doctor? Which is really crazy. And people doesn't understand that that's where you lose the confidence in yourself, because now people start to question you. Now people start to tell you you cannot do this, you cannot do that. They try to convince you so much how the dream you're walking in doesn't fit you. But I'm here to tell you that whatever you want, if you can, do it. Because there is nothing more like regretting something you should have done when you had the ability and capacity to do it. So you have to learn after that dream. Can you afford it? Do it. Do you believe in yourself? Do it. Don't let me or anybody else stop you from being the person you want to be, achieving the dream just because of a dream you had and you're no longer interested in that dream. Just do what you have to do in the time you have to do it. And the next question is going to be um now tugiye kuri Lego. Don't worry, I will just continue. Sibyo. Question 8. How do you actually let go of that version of yourself? And is it a decision you make or something that just happened over time? Sometimes it's something that might happen over time, and sometimes it might be a thing you take time to work out of. And you're like asking yourself, how actually do I let go this version? There is only one thing you can do to just let it go, is to take a decision and say, I'm no longer going there. I'm just gonna stay here and do what I have to do. And it does take time. For example, if you took like 3 years to be where you are right now because of that dream you want to move out of, it's going to take you maybe another 1 or 2 years for you to say, this new dream I am in, like I master it, I understand it, I know where it's going. So know that no matter what you're going to do, the amount of time it took you to achieve certain thing, it might take you less or more time to take that new dream. So, but don't let that discourage you. The first thing you need to know is to say, do I have a strategy? Do I have people helping me? What ways do I have to go in? Because, for example, there might be like 10 ways, but in those 10 ways for you, you're gonna just be using five. But if it was me chasing the dream you're chasing right now, it might take me like 20 ways. So it depends on how your mind and how you want to, like, the thirstiness you have to achieve that dream. So always put in your head to say, like, what is my pace? Because what I saw with other people is like, when you don't know your pace and you tend to go to another person's pace, you get lost. For example, you're on a run, like you're with your friend, but your friend has been doing jogging for like 2 years. Now they're used to it, they run faster. And you've been taking a pause like for 6 months and you want to come back to the same pace. You can never achieve that. That's why you're gonna breathe so hard whenever you're trying to match up to their pace. So know your pace, know how you must go. Question 10 is going to be, has there ever been a version of letting go that felt more like relief than lost? Yeah, because most of us we do tend to say that, because I lost a dream, I'm gonna be sad. People are going to be sad for you. They're gonna pity you. They say like, why did you do this? Why did you move this way? But I can tell you that, most of the people generally I saw is like when they were doing a thing someone pushed them to. For example, your parents had a dream of you becoming a lawyer, and they always pushed you to that remit of being a lawyer, and now you're in university, or I don't know what you call it, college, and you're studying really really hard. But at the end, now you're even a lawyer, or maybe you're a judge, you have this good job and they're paying you so much money. But at the end of the day, because it's not your dream, when you find something you love, a new dream of yourself, the thing that you have your own decision to make, that's where you're going to feel like, oh, this is a relief. At least now I can do what I love. Now I can do what I am capable of doing. So sometimes the dream you're leaving behind is not something to grieve about. It's more like a relief that you're going to start a new thing for you, and a new thing that other people might see as a courage from you, and they do the same thing. So it's never always grief. Sometimes it's relief to just give up on a dream. Okay, tugiye kuri the new version kubera ko kuri scripts uzabibona.
Hmm?
Question. Hmm? Ndi kuvuga like script igiye ifite udutitre dutoya. Right now tugiye kuri the new version. Question 11. Question 11 asks, when you stopped trying to be that old version, what did you find on the other side of it? So it's always Ihangane ho gatoya. What did you find outside of it? So it's always happiness. I can say happiness, but sometimes people struggle to go back to a dream which is new. Especially if you don't know the path you have to walk through. And after you have this relief that you just let go of that old dream, you are going to find new things. And I don't know, but I think new things should be very exciting. For example, you have never been on a plane. If you go on a plane that say like they invite you to be in another country, of course you're gonna be very excited. The excitement is going to make you say, "Oh, I want to take pictures, I want to take videos, I want to next time if I go." Like you start to dream about doing it more often because you are very happy and you are very relieved that you finally found something that you really want to do, you know. So whatever that you're going to find on the other side, I'm not going to promise you that it's going to always be happiness and smiley. Sometimes it might be sadness, and sometimes in your head you might go back to the memory where it says like, "Oh, you should have not have left. You should come back to that dream." But after thinking how people think, like you want to prove people that they are very wrong from like from them thinking that you cannot make it. You want to prove them that you're gonna make it no matter what. So you're gonna find encouragement, but most of the time, on how I see the word, it does start with people being disappointed in you, saying that no, you should not have left. This dream was a perfect fit for you. You should not have done this. You should not have done that. But don't let that stop you, because when you start with people discouraging you and you continue, you say like, no, this is a me thing. I'm gonna do it no matter what. It's always come with a good feedback where you're gonna say, I thank God that I didn't give up on myself. I thank God that I continued even though I did have some doubts. You're gonna doubt yourself so many times, but don't let that ever discourage you, because God is always there for you, which is another one thing you have to always keep in your mind. No matter the path that you're going to walk through, always say, "Oh, dear Lord, I'm going this way. You know, I beg of you so that you can give me the spirit, give me angels to guide me, give me your guidance, give me your blessings." Sometimes, if even if you choose that dream, there is always so many branches that always come to that dream. God might say like, "Okay, pass here." And when you pass to a path where people said like, "But she says she's going to do this. Why is she doing this?" Just keep it into silence, and God is going to prove them wrong. Question 12. How do you rebuild trust in yourself after you believe in a path that didn't work? How do you come back with that confidence you had before? Okay, people tends to people tends to think that you can never come back to a after losing confidence. It's really hard to come back to the same confidence, and you can never, like, for example, if for example you do make vases, these small pots where they put flowers. I don't know how these people does it, but every time you might find that they have made like 100 pots, and they're all the same size. They look the same. But let me tell you one thing. As our hands, if you see your hands like this, if you do like this, you're gonna see that your hands, even though I might be far and I say like they look the same, but they are not the same. They are not even. They are uneven. So this is one thing the hands always teach me whenever it comes to a dream, or whenever it comes to me getting back the confidence I had before. I say like, for example, yesterday I had this confidence which was like this long, and today, because of things that has been happening, and your dream at chess or whatever you're gonna be doing, you find yourself that you are back to the smaller finger, and you're so like, oh, I no longer have confidence in myself. You start to doubt yourself, and you think you do not still have that confidence. You still have it, but the thing is, you haven't gathered the same or the enough knowledge for you to understand that the dream you're in, it can work. So what I think people advise others is like, find something related to the dream you're going to chase, study it, see how much you can love it. Because once you love something, you get the chance to explain it very, very well to people, where they're going to say like, oh my God, like, you know how to explain it, you know how to say it. And they know that when you started that dream, you wasn't like that. Practice more. I don't know, go in the mirror and practice you speaking if it requires you to speak. I don't know if it requires you to be among people. Start to go where there is a lot of people. Try to talk to them. Try to gather their knowledge and everything. Everything is going to come back to the same level they were. All you just need is not about confidence. It's about how many knowledge you have. Because the more knowledge you have about something, the more confidence you're gonna be talking about it. So gather that knowledge and know more about that knowledge and everything that comes around that. The question 13 going to be, what does the version of you right now has that the planned version never would have? Okay, the example I given you is like, our parents does have dreams that we have to become this and that. And question number 13. Number, thir- Number 13 goes like, what does the version of you right now have that the planned version never would have? Once, once the dream you choose, it's a dream of yours, and you never would have imagined how much you're going to love that dream. The planned version you had in the past is not going to have the same, like, the kind of love you have to that new dream, because now you're doing it because you want to you want to invest, And most of the time I see that people chasing new dreams, it's like they say, oh, like they have the ability, the capacity to do that. And the planned version, whenever you were doing it, maybe you didn't have money, you never had time. People were telling you, um, no, do this. You are like a person who they order around. It's like, oh, I have a job of 9 to 5, so I cannot chase my dream. But now you quit your job of 9 to 5 just to follow that dream. You have a budget for it, you have the love, you have the people to support you. Now, like, you have so many informations about the new dream you're going into, which makes it more fun and lovable than the dream you have planned for. And always remember that um, just because you planned something doesn't mean that it has to go the way you planned, you know. So you have to always, it's good to have a plan. Always have a plan. Always grab your book, your agenda, and say, I want this thing to move from 1 2 3 4 5. And sometimes according to how you made your list, you might find yourself in a situation where you have to come from 1 and up to 10, and from 10 up to 5. Just go at your pace. I keep saying it. Your pace, plan it, love it, ask more information about it. Don't ever be ashamed to ask questions, because there is a good thing in asking questions, because the more you ask questions, the more information you gather. And if you don't have informations, I don't know what you have. So always make sure you have that. Hmm. Question number 14. Ya kugera kuri conclusion. So, question number 14 is going to be for you. The question goes like, this is my question to you guys. For everyone listening who is still grieving a version of themselves they plan to be, what do you want them to hear? Okay, want what I want you guys to hear is, take your time. Like, sometimes when we see people grieving, we tend to tell them, oh, I'm sorry, you need to be strong and move on, which is true. We need them to be strong and move from that phase they are in and grow out of it. Don't let the grief you're having put you down. We always encourage them to go up and up, but you can never tell a person how to grieve. That's why you take your time to grieve and know. And when your time comes, you're gonna wake up and say, this is enough. I've grieved for a long time, and now I'm chasing what I want. Grow up from that one thing you're grieving from, and move to a next step. If the next step you need to move on from, you need a friend, call them. If some of us does need doctors, which is an important thing to know, because out of here there is so many people who have talents where they can make your confidence come back. They can, like, I don't know, get back to you, like they can make you come back to your faith. I'm not saying like they're God, but what I believe in is like, God made people to be in others people's life to teach them what God told them to teach you. I don't know if you understand, but if you need a doctor, go to the doctor. If you, whatever you need, go find it. You need support, ask for it. Don't be ashamed of you asking for help just because you think people are going to laugh at you. Ask for help. The person to help you is going to be there. That is God, that is friends and family and everyone who loves you. My other question is going to be, what does next step mean to you personally in a context of this conversation, and what does next look? for a new plan. Completely gone. So, my last question is going to be, if that version of you that you create, if they see you today, what are they going to think? They are going to say, I'm happy. They're going to say, um, I'm stronger. And they're going to say, congratulations, you did well. So, whatever that is going to come up next, take it, love it, and yeah, love it. So, guys, don't forget to subscribe and